Hello and welcome to another one of those videos where I discuss updates in the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady and kitfox, but in this occasion we have a rare post from Meph, author of Masterwork DF and one of the two people working on the tile set for Dwarf Fortress. Now, this was posted on the subreddit this afternoon, about 6 hours before I'm recording this while I was streaming, so I unfortunately didn't see it until just now, but they are discussing essentially whether or not to add wear and tear visibly to the different items. So the post includes this message beneath from Meph. He says, "We are currently working and discussing whether or not these would make sense in game. It's a little bit of extra work and doing this for every item, and the final sprite might be a little bit less readable, especially if the three states mix. This mock-up shows the sword and breastplate with 0, 25, 50, and 75% wear, and 100, the item is destroyed. As well as each quality level, the four contaminants test vomit, or to test are vomit, blood, water, and mud. At the bottom, you can find an example with the 2 or 3 states. Please let us know what you think about it." So I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna let them know what I think about it. And frankly, I love the idea in theory, but in practice, I think it might be a massive waste of effort. Let's get into it. So one of my biggest concerns with the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress is readability. When you play the game currently in its current state, it's quite zoomed out, and the only footage we've actually seen of the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress running right now, it's very zoomed in. So when you're actually seeing these sprites, they're going to be very small. In fact, like they might be a pinhead size on your screen at times. I think that this might be really cool for adventure mode specifically, because it'll add a lot of atmosphere and a lot of visual fidelity to the different areas. Now, what if, I propose this, what if when you highlight one of these objects, the effects appear, instead of just having it all the time? I think that like a lot of the additions, at least currently, are just a little bit on the minor side. They look nice when zoomed in, but when we zoom them out, like this, so as you can see, they're a little bit difficult to see when zoomed out. This has me worried, because I think in Fortress mode, it might end up being a little bit more work than it's worth. That being said, does having these necessarily hurt? If they have the time and want to put the time in to do this for all of the items in the game, I don't see how there is really a negative. I think it might be something that players don't notice. That being said, I don't see it being an issue. If they're worried about readability, they could make it a thing that only happens when the item itself is highlighted, and just make it a non-issue, or perhaps make it a toggleable option. That, or just don't do it in the first place. But if they're discussing it, I would like to see this, especially for adventure mode. I think for adventure mode, it could be very cool, considering the game doesn't run in real time, and you can take your time to really soak in the environment, and any kind of detail like this is going to add immersion, which is going to improve the quality of the game, in my opinion. So I'd love to know what you think of this down in the comments. I personally would like to see them do this, although I do think it would be a massive challenge to make them readable when fully zoomed out, which is the biggest concern. That being said, maybe it doesn't matter so much when you're fully zoomed out, and only really matters when you're zoomed in. But who knows? If you have any thoughts, please leave a comment down below. Also, I will link the Reddit thread in question, so you can just simply go respond to Meph yourself if you wish to do that. I think comments in both places would be cool, personally. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.